I'm gonna do a quick look video tonight of this knife. I'm sure once you guys see it, you'll recognize it. This is the Buck 829 Elite, the Legacy Edition Marksman in S90V steel. It's got a carbon fiber inlay. It's got the G&G Hawk lock. I'm not sure what you call it, the strap lock. Zelrick, another YouTuber, sent this my way. We were talking in his comment section, and he made just an off the wall comment about sharpening S90V, and asked if I would be interested in putting it to some stones. And I've never sharpened S90V, so yeah, you don't have to ask me twice. Absolutely. So he sent this my way, which is a double treat, because I've never handled a Buck Marksman, first of all, nor have I ever sharpened S90V. Now, Zelrick uses, I believe it's a KME system. I tend to sharpen most of my knives nowadays freehand. Now, taking a freehand edge to one of those jigged systems doesn't always line up. I've been kind of contemplating this all day long, how I wanted to sharpen this, because I really want to hand sharpen this to get a feel for S90V, but at the same time, this isn't my knife, this is Zelrick's knife, and if he ever decides he wants to touch up the edge or put a new micro bevel, whatever, he really needs it set at a precise angle so that he can duplicate it on his KME. So that being said, I'm probably going to do this on my Edge Pro Apex. The knife is fairly thin behind the edge. I have no idea what angle it's set at currently. There is a nick in the edge. Right here it is. It's in the belly. As I drag my finger down, I can catch it. Not sure if Zell knew that was there or not, but there's definitely a nick in it. Also, they've got this nasty little hook in the plunge area. Now, if this were my knife, I would just extend that sharpening choil out, but since it's not, what I'm probably going to do is just angle my stones at a higher angle, grind that till it's parallel with the actual cutting edge, and then sharpen the knife at whatever angle we set it for, which I'm thinking 15 degrees with an 18-degree micro bevel. I think that would be perfect. So when Zell first got this knife, he had some centering issues, and he had to send it back to Buck, and they got it centered up pretty perfectly, actually, and sent it back his way. I believe the blade grind makes it point off to the right, my right, your left. Makes it point off just a hair. It's really subtle, but it is there, and it has nothing to do with the blade being centered in the handle. It's the blade grind. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but I can definitely see it with my eye. Other than that, I mean, this thing is flawless. That little nibbin, that little nick in the edge, which could have been caused by who knows what, and that little hiccup in the blade grind, which is so minimal, so minuscule. I mean, compared to everything else that's out there, that's water under the bridge. Nothing to even complain about. Very, very light. This lock takes a little getting used to. I'm still not quite there. I find if I use my thumb with my index finger on the blade, I tend to be able to close it easier that way. I have tried it closing it with just my index finger, and that kind of works, but it hurts. That lock would definitely take some getting used to. I'm going to show a few comparisons here. I don't know if you guys know this knife. This is a Medford Knife and Tool Viper. This is a beast of a knife. Extraordinarily thick, heavy, just ungodly. This is a Jason Larivo Fractal. I believe it's number 10. I have used this knife, used and abused. It's a short, tubby little thing. This is the Hogue X5 flipper. The head designs, or HEA designs, I'm sorry. Equilibrium. I think everybody's got this. That's why I brought it out. It's a Paramilitary 2. Great for size comparisons against other knives. And finally, a real steel Megalodon. And we're out of frame. Put it up here. So that's quite a lineup. It in terms of size, is right next to the Paramilitary, shorter than the Equilibrium, way shorter than the Viper, just a hair shorter than the Real Steel Megalodon, and just a hair longer than the Hogue X5. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen this guy up. We're going to get it all taped up so I don't scratch anything. I'm going to do my absolute best not to get any water inside the pivot, because I am not going to take this knife apart. It is not mine. I don't want to doink up his centering. So I'm going to do my absolute best not to get any grit, swarf, water, or anything down in that pivot. So I'm going to basically just use as little water as possible on my water stones. And we're going to give this guy a nice shiny edge. Now, I've never sharpened S90V, as I said. I know it likes a toothy edge, but I've seen plenty of pictures where guys have taken it to a mirror finish, and I've heard nothing as far as complaints go about edge holding capabilities in that fashion. I want to show you where the edge is currently. It's not bad. I got some oil or something on that. It's not a bad edge, it's just you can feel the toothiness of it. I'm not sure if that's the S90V or just the way it was sharpened from Buck. Even that little nip in the edge doesn't seem to be getting in the way. Regardless, we're gonna make it pretty. I'll come back once I got it squared away. Just wanted to show this edge before I actually start sharpening, show where it is currently. Now I've got this guy all taped up, so I shouldn't scratch anything. The only spot that's actually exposed is back here. Had a little hiccup right there. I may put another little strip of tape. And directly behind the edge. So with a little luck and water management, won't get any water inside this guy. Sharpened at 15 degrees with an 18-degree micro bevel. You can see the coloration is a little off. That's from the tape sucking all the oil out as you handle the knife, and your oils from your fingers get back on it. That will come back. S90V absolutely annihilated me and my stones. I did the best I could. I've only got 2 diamond stones for my Edge Pro Apex. One is 140 grit and the other is 400 grit. After using those stones, I started using the Shapton glass stones. This steel kind of responded to the 220 and the 500, but after that, it really, I don't even know how to describe it. It was acting like a hollow grind here in the main bevel. The top and the bottom, where the actual apex is, and the very top of the bevel, you could see the scratches really polishing it out. But the very center, nothing was happening. It just stayed hazy. So I went through the 1000 grit stone, tried the 4000 grit stone, and got the same results. So I backed it up, went back to the 500 grit stone, got the 500 scratches back on it, took it back to the 1000 grit stone, exact same thing. Top and the bottom of the bevels were getting polished. The middle section stayed hazy. Have no idea what was going on there. I was thinking, you know, maybe the heat treat is bad or something like that. I don't think that's the case though. I think that's just S90V. It does not respond well to those types of stones. So I got it where I've got it, put an 18-degree micro bevel on it, and I'm calling it here. I'm not going any further with it. Zel, you've got a KME. This should be easy for you to duplicate. I don't want to grind any further on this knife because it's not mine. This is a limited run. I don't want to screw anything up. I don't want to grind away any more steel than is necessary. So I'm going to leave it just like it is. I'm going to pack it up and we're going to get it sent back out. And like I said, being a 15-degree bevel with an 18-degree micro bevel, this will be very easy for anybody with a fixed angle sharpener to duplicate. My final thoughts on this knife. I like the looks. I like the weights. Ooh, the power just went out. I like the looks. I like the weight of the knife. Not a fan of this lock. Not at all. It takes some getting used to, and I'm still not used to it. Just not digging this one. Anyway, before my power goes out, I'm gonna call it here. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. I'd like to thank Zelrick for sending this on to me to play with. I'm glad I got the chance to mess with S90V. I now know I hate that steel. It's not something I want. So any knife that's in that steel, I know to avoid. So I appreciate that. Anyway, have a good one.